Chapter 630. Hu Liansheng was naturally overjoyed. In fact, he had been thinking about moving the headquarters of the Cloud Group to King City. The building that Cheng Mu's had previously prepared had already been renovated. However, because too many things had happened in the later stages, the Cloud Group had annexed the Ma family and swallowed the Hughes. There were so many things that they could not move over in a short period of time. Thus, this matter was delayed. But speaking of which, it was definitely the best place to set up the headquarters in the capital. Hu Liansheng had also thought of persuading Jian Yun to go to the capital with him. But he was worried that Jian Yun had bad memories of the capital. He was afraid that she would not be happy even if she reluctantly agreed to go, so he did not mention it. This time, it was Jian Yun who took the initiative to ask him to stay in the capital for a while. Why did she not make Hu Liansheng happy? Granny Liao was also very happy. She grew up in the imperial capital and was more familiar with the imperial capital. This time, when Jian Yun and Hu Liansheng returned, Granny Liao had always stayed in the same villa with them. When winter passed and spring arrived, the spring season was warm and flowers bloomed. Chu was also full for 3 months. He had already grown into a white, glutinous rice ball. His eyes were big like black grapes, bright and energetic. His chubby little face was very cute. It was because Chi might have inherited Hu Liansheng's personality that he liked to put on a straight face at such a young age. Very few people could tease him. His thin lips were pursed tightly, and he looked exactly the same as Hu Liansheng. He even looked at people the same way. Jian Yun was a little worried. This kid had learned his father's ice face at such a young age. When he grew up, wouldn't he be a moving ice mountain? However, Jian Yun soon did not have time to worry about Cho's character, because she was going to start preparing for Cho's 100 Days Feast. Cho's 100 Days Feast was held at home. According to Granny Liao, there would be a lot of guests. Fortunately, the villa was big enough and there was no need to worry about not being able to accommodate it. Furthermore, there was a housekeeper at home and Hu Liansheng had sent many people over. Jian Yun actually did not need to do anything. Even the clothes that she and Chu were going to wear were prepared by stylists more than a month in advance. But Jian Yun was inexplicably nervous. She did not know where this nervousness came from. Could it be because she was not the rightful mistress of the family? Jian Yun thought about it and felt that she was not anxious because of this. Then what was it? Could it be because Granny Liao and Hu Qingcheng recently looked at her strangely and made her think too much? It could not be. She did not think too much. She could not figure it out. Jian Yun didn't think too much about it. She took care of Qi every day and watched him grow up day by day. There seemed to be a small change every day. She was so happy that she couldn't stand it anymore. In addition, she and Hu Liansheng got along day and night. These two were the men she loved the most. They would always be by her side. What else could she not be satisfied with? It was finally the day of Chu's 100 Days Feast. It's early this year's spring festival now. Although it's March, the weather is still a little cold. However, the huge villa of the Hu family was bustling with activity. From the morning when the sun had just risen, there were guests coming over. There was an endless stream of guests all day. Some were invited and some came uninvited. Jian Yun had been carrying Qi and Hu Liansheng to welcome the guests. There were too many people coming after them. Hu Liansheng was afraid that she would be too tired, so he let her go back to her room to rest. Some of the guests were personally welcomed by Hu Liansheng, but most of them were sent to Cheng Mu's and the butler to receive them. Jian Yun was also happy to be free. God knew that she was smiling at those people until her face turned stiff. Moreover, almost everyone looked at her with interest and curiosity, which made her feel uncomfortable. Qi kept a straight face. He was very serious, but when there were too many people, it was noisy. Qi did not hold on for long. Jian Yun went back to her room and was happy to be at peace and at ease. In a flash, it was nighttime. As there were too many guests today, the Hu family's villa was hard to accommodate, so Hu Liansheng asked someone to move the banquet venue to the hotel at noon. Hao Cheng Hotel was a property under the Cloud Group. It was a super 5-star hotel. The big boss wanted to hold a 100-day feast for young master. Such a big event naturally made everyone in the hotel go all out. Just after 3 o'clock, Jian Yun was grabbed by the stylist and started to make makeup for her dress. This was done for more than 3 hours. Jian Yun was almost done with her sleep before she finally finished. At that time, Jian Yun looked at herself in the mirror and could not help but be dazzled. She saw her own black hair in the mirror coiled into an elegant bun and a few strands of hair hung down from her temples. She was breathtakingly beautiful, especially her pair of eyes, which reflected the light of diamonds, as if all the stars in the sky had fallen into them. "Madam, get up and take a look." The stylist's assistant brought over the full-length mirror. The young girl looked at Jian Yun in surprise. "Madam is really the most beautiful person I have ever seen. Her skin and foundation are also good. Her light makeup is already so good." The stylist was also sighing. The woman in front of her was so beautiful and her temperament was so good. Those people who scolded her online must have never seen her before. Otherwise, it would be hard not to be enchanted by her. The stylist was really looking forward to the moment everyone saw Jian Yun's expression. Jian Yun obeyed and got up. She was wearing a red dress with a one-word shoulder design that revealed her slender and beautiful neck. Her shoulders were round and beautiful. The dress looked simple, but was exquisitely cut. Her dress was full of luxury. Anyone with discerning eyes could tell that this dress was expensive. Jian Yun liked this dress very much, but at the same time, she also felt that it was a little strange because she felt that today was Chi's birthday. She was wearing such a straight red dress. Wasn't it a little too grand? Just as Jian Yun was hesitating whether she should change it, her eyes flashed and a person suddenly appeared in the mirror. The man was tall and had a handsome face. He looked at her with a face full of undisguised amazement. "Duo, you are so beautiful." Hu Liancheng hugged Jian Yun from behind and placed his big hand on her waist. In 3 months, Jian Yun's body had completely recovered to her pre-pregnancy state. Her waist was not full and her lower abdomen was flat. Her skin was even better than before. It was impossible to tell that she was a new mother. Hu Liancheng really loved Jian Yun's slender waist. "Isn't this dress too eye-catching?" Jian Yun tugged at her skirt. She kept feeling that this dress was not suitable for her. It was not like she was getting married. "It's not eye-catching. My duo looks good in anything." Hu Liancheng grabbed Jian Yun's restless hand and kissed her on the lips. "I better change to another one. That pink one looks good too." Jian Yun still felt uncomfortable. She pulled her hand back and wanted to change her clothes. Hu Liancheng grabbed her. "This one." Before Jian Yun could say anything, she suddenly felt a cold sensation on her neck. The mirror reflected a light and she squinted her eyes. Only then did she see that Hu Liancheng was wearing a necklace for her. It was the heart of the lover, their token of love. Jian Yun looked at the pink diamond and was momentarily lost in thought. She also forgot about the matter of changing her clothes. She remembered that when she came back from the imperial capital, her heart was broken and she moved all her things away from the 2 residences. She did not take any of the things Hu Liancheng gave her. She remembered that this heart of lover's diamond was left in the apartment at that time. "Duoer, the reason I took this diamond back then was to give it to you. This is my heart. You can't lose it again." Hu Liancheng bit Jian Yun's ear and said. Jian Yun turned her head and met Hu Liancheng's eyes. She pursed her lips and smiled. "Okay. Let's go. The guests are all here. You are the mistress. You cannot be absent." Hu Liancheng extended his hand to Jian Yun. Jian Yun blinked when she heard the words mistress, but she did not refute his words. Instead, she obediently placed her hand on his palm and allowed him to hold her. The hall of the hotel was already crowded. Looking around, all the guests who came were influential figures in the capital. It could be said that all the politicians and businessmen who could speak up for 2 years had come. The banquet began. When Hu Liancheng held Jian Yun held a small baby, and the family of 3 appeared in front of everyone. Everyone immediately let out a cry of surprise. "Oh my God, this family of 3 is too beautiful." Someone took out his phone and started taking pictures. Hu Liancheng did not stop them. He walked onto the stage with Jian Yun in his arms and said a few simple words. At the end, he expressed his gratitude. "Thank you for coming to support my son for 100 days today. I and my wife are very honored." "Wait, my wife?" Jian Yun looked at Hu Liancheng in confusion. Did this guy say something wrong? Everyone in China knew that they were not husband and wife. But in this kind of situation, Jian Yun could not correct Hu Liancheng. She looked around the stage with a strange look. This time, she also noticed that many people were surprised. Clearly, they were also shocked by Hu Liancheng's words. After Hu Liancheng finished speaking, the dinner started. Jian Yun and Hu Liancheng also sat together in the chairman's seat. The banquet was very sumptuous. Hu Liancheng's eyes were always on Jian Yun. He would occasionally serve her dishes, making all the female guests around him envious and jealous. The banquet ended, but the guests did not leave because there was a grand fireworks performance scheduled for tonight. At 8:30, the fireworks performance began. Everyone gathered on the outdoor lawn or the hotel balcony to watch. Xia Yun and Hu Liancheng naturally occupied the balcony with the best view. "Let me hug my little darling." Granny Liao suddenly came over and took Qi from Jian Yun's hands. The reason was that she was afraid that the fireworks would flash into Chu's eyes. After all, the little baby's eyes had not fully developed and were still very fragile. Jian Yun thought that it made sense, so she gave Qi to Granny Liao. But when she looked up, she saw Granny Liao blinking her eyes at Hu Liancheng with a mysterious look on her face. "Are you guys hiding something from me?" Jian Yun had a belly full of questions, and she asked Hu Liancheng. "Let's watch the fireworks first." Hu Liancheng smiled, but did not say anything. He only pulled Jian Yun along to watch the beautiful fireworks in the night. Jian Yun did not have time to think about it for a while. Moreover, she was also stunned by the sky full of fireworks. Therefore, she let Hu Liancheng hold her slender waist, and the two of them leaned against each other to watch the performance. This scene was so warm that Granny Liao and the others who had been watching them from behind had their eyes wet. "Duo I love you," Hu Liancheng suddenly whispered softly into Jian Yun's ear. Jian Yun turned her head to look at him. Her eyelashes were curved like the new moon in the sky. "I love you too." Hu Liancheng smiled. He took a step back and suddenly knelt down on one knee. Jian Yun was shocked. She did not know what to do and wanted to help him up, but she saw a box in Hu Liancheng's hand like magic. "What are you doing?" At this time, the fireworks performance had just ended. The air was filled with the smell of gunpowder. The crowd gathered on the grass to watch the fireworks did not disperse. When they heard the sound, they all looked towards the balcony. Jian Yun suddenly felt very nervous. She felt as if the entire world's eyes were focused on her, making her feel at a loss of what to do. At the same time, her back also became stiff. She felt that her ears were buzzing. Everything that happened in front of her seemed to be covered by a layer of fog. 7 years ago, I met you for the first time in Qinghu. At that time, I lost confidence in my life and deliberately banished myself. I wandered around and saw the 100 flavors of life. But at the same time, I suffered from cold eyes. However, there was only you. When my life was hanging by a thread, only you did not dislike me. You saved me and protected me. At that time, I already fell in love with you. I only regret my separation from you back then. These few years, I have been looking for you everywhere. God treated me well and finally let me find you." The more Jian Yun heard, the more confused she became. What was Hu Liancheng doing? Was he confessing to the entire world to her? When did he become so high profile? Hu Liancheng was still confessing his love to her. Perhaps his impression of her was too cold, and he had always been quiet. His aura was shocking. When he suddenly spoke sweet words, everyone was so shocked that they could not close their jaws. It was so quiet that even a pin drop could be heard. "In the past few months, because of various reasons, I was unable to protect you. I apologize to you. I also promise you that from now on, I will never let anyone hurt you. Otherwise, I will chase and kill that person until he dies." Hu Liancheng's tone turned cold when he said that. He looked at the reporter carrying the camera not far away. The reporter's legs were trembling from the coldness in his eyes, but he immediately understood that Hu Liancheng was talking to everyone outside the camera. He was not talking to him. At this moment, the netizens who were watching the live broadcast on their computers, phones, and in front of the TV were all exploding like boiling water. God, Hu Liancheng and his ex-wife have such a touching story. I'm going to cry. Just you people. In the past, you were fooled by people who provoked you. You scolded people so badly. You've been slapped in the face. Hu Liancheng is so domineering. This is a declaration to protect his wife. It would be great if I could find such a husband. Most of the people were the ones who had scolded Jian Yun on the internet. The more powerful they were, the more guilty they felt. Especially after being intimidated by Hu Liancheng's gaze, they were even more frightened. All of a sudden, on Weibo, someone actually posted an apology to Jian Yun. The news was uploaded in a short period of time. At that time, on the hotel balcony, Hu Liancheng had already announced his confession. He was staring intently at Jian Yun. The box in his hand opened, revealing a sparkling diamond ring. "Miss Jian Yun, here, I would like to ask you to agree to marry me." Hu Liancheng finally said the theme of tonight. At this time, he was extremely excited. He had waited for this day for too long. In the past, it was because there were too many outside disturbances that he did not dare to expose Jian Yun. He only used a marriage certificate to tie her up. Now the situation was different. He was already standing at the peak of the world. He had the ability to protect her well. So he wanted to propose to her in front of everyone in the world. He wanted to announce to the world that she was his wife. She was the only wife Hu Liancheng loved in his life. In the broadcast room, when everyone saw this scene, they exploded once again. Damn, fuck, Prince Charming is proposing. My heart is broken. My heart is broken. I really want to go up and agree to him. What's the point of agreeing to it? The Prince Charming doesn't love you. Compared to the hubbub in the broadcast room, Weibo was much calmer. Damn, a minute has passed. Why hasn't Jian Yun agreed yet? Why does she seem to be in a daze? Was she shocked, or did she have other intentions? Hey, don't talk nonsense upstairs. What else can it mean? For example, she has already changed her love for Hu Liansheng and doesn't love him anymore. Otherwise, why didn't she react for a long time? Damn, it has been 3 minutes. I pity Hu Liancheng so much. What nonsense are you talking about upstairs? Which man in this world can compare to Hu Liancheng? He is so handsome, rich, and devoted to love. I can't find him even with lanterns. If I can mass-produce such a man, please give me a dozen. But Jian Yun is indeed distracted. On the hotel balcony, Hu Liancheng also noticed that something was wrong with Jian Yun. Why did she seem to be in a daze? Did she not hear what he said, or was she unwilling? She was willing. She said that she also loved him. Hu Liansheng quickly denied this guess in his heart, but he was scared. He had asked Jian Yun to marry him countless times over the past few months. She had clearly expressed that she did not want to marry. That was why he came up with this plan. He wanted to propose in front of the whole world. He thought that in this way, Jian Yun would have to take care of his face and would not embarrass him in public. At that time, he would work harder and coax her to marry him. He must coax her to marry him. But now, Jian Yun did not seem to care about his true love confession and proposal. Could it be that she really did not want to marry him? Hu Liancheng's heart immediately jumped with nervousness. Hu Liancheng could not stand it anymore. At this moment, there seemed to be a thorn under his knee, making him anxious to stand up and ask Jian Yun what she was thinking. However, he could not stand up. He was proposing. There were so many guests outside watching. There were also countless cameras of domestic and international reporters. If he stood up now, not only would all his efforts go to waste, he would also become a joke. Granny Liao and the rest were also anxious to death. Each and every one of them wanted to rush over and shake Jian Yun awake. At this time, she could actually also be distracted? What's wrong with Jian Yun? Could it be that she is really not willing to marry Hu Liancheng? Liao Qi sucked in a breath of cold air and said with some uncertainty, "What are you talking about, you stupid child?" Granny Liao immediately slapped Liao Qi's head, but Granny Liao herself also felt uneasy because of Liao Qi's words. Yun did not move for a long time. Could it be that Liao Qi was right? Quickly agree. Accept. 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 Jian Yun, what are you doing? Including Hu Qingcheng, Lu Yanyan, Wu Wenjing, and the others. Almost everyone was whispering anxiously. Another minute passed, and Hu Liancheng's originally proud and handsome face could not hold on anymore. He once again said the words of marriage proposal. "Miss Jian Yun, are you willing to marry me?" At the same time, Hu Liancheng lowered his voice. "Duoer, can you at least give me some face? If you have anything to say, let's go back and talk. Just promise me now, or I will become the laughingstock of the world." Jian Yun finally had a reaction. She blinked and blinked again. All the movements in front of her eyes that seemed to be playing in slow motion instantly returned to normal. Yes, Jian Yun did not reply for a long time just now because she was completely stunned. At that instant, she felt a buzzing sound in her head. Everything in front of her seemed to have entered into slow motion play mode. Moreover, her 4 limbs were out of control. Simply put, her brain and limbs were not in the same channel. Jian Yun was very shocked because she did not expect it at all. Hu Liancheng would propose to her at such an occasion. Looking at the countless cameras around him, it was obvious that he was prepared. The reason why he asked the stylist to pick this red dress for her was also to prepare for tonight's proposal. Jian Yun's heart was already filled with mixed feelings when he made such a high-profile proposal tonight, despite being such a low-profile person. Yes, she had rejected his proposal to remarry earlier, because she was not sure if she would be able to take on the role of his wife. She loved him. But she only just understood that she loved him, not even 1/10 of what he loved her. He treated her wholeheartedly, but she doubted him. This made her very ashamed. She rejected him not because she did not want to marry him. No. She wanted to marry. She wanted to be his wife. She wanted to be his wife for the rest of her life, but she felt that she wasn't ready yet. She wanted to do more for him, to be better, to be good enough for him. Xian Yun had always wanted to find an opportunity to tell Hu Liancheng about her thoughts, but she did not expect that she was a step too late. He had already prepared such a grand marriage proposal ceremony. It was still the day of Chu's 100 days. It was so memorable. Hu Liancheng felt like he was about to cry. He was so anxious. He had already seen the sympathy in the eyes of the people outside. After tonight, on the day his son was rejected by the woman, he would definitely become famous all over the world. Xian Yun looked at the curve of Hu Liancheng's lips. She had never seen him so depressed before. Xian Yun could not help but want to laugh. She originally wanted to be more reserved and let Hu Liancheng continue to be anxious. But she really could not bear to make him sad. So she extended her hand to him. This time it was Hu Liancheng who was stunned. Happiness came too fast, like a tornado, making him unable to react. I am willing. Xian Yun's voice was soft like water. It was obvious that there was a loudspeaker on the balcony. Hu Liancheng's confession had spread all around. Therefore, when Xian Yun said that she was willing, the entire hotel heard it. In an instant, the entire world seemed to have fallen into silence. 3 seconds later, there was a sudden burst of cheers. Quick, silly boy, quickly put a ring on Yun. What are you staring at? Granny Liao saw that Hu Liancheng was still in a daze. She rushed over in a hurry and shouted, Big brother, put the ring on. Hu Qingcheng was so anxious that she jumped up and down. Only then did Hu Liancheng come back to his senses, as if he was afraid that Xian Yun would go back on her words. He impatiently grabbed Xian Yun's hand and put the ring on her. Only then did he let out a heavy sigh of relief. Bad girl, what were you thinking just now? You scared me so much that I almost had a heart attack. Hu Liancheng still had a lingering fear. He hugged Xian Yun and whispered into her ear. Xian Yun smiled and hugged Hu Liancheng back. She did not answer his question but said loudly, Hu Liancheng, I love you. I love you so much. This declaration of love, that I love you, immediately spread through the entire hotel through the loudspeaker. It also reached the front of the television, the live broadcast room, the Weibo platform, and even the entire world.